me flatten out my thing, Kelly. Alright.
You gonna wear that the whole podcast?
Goddamn right I am. Like, fuck that. Like, it's the home podcast. I mean, it's the home studio. And I'm feeling mad homey right now.
I'm going to my mother's.
Fine.
Okay.
Oh,
Big man.
bring a podcast.
You wanna hear some hot takes? Let's see how woke you are. You know something about podcasts?
No.
Hell, dígame. Kidding me on one, man. I got these 3 drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts at. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the Podbean app. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts.
Why am I so dark today?
If anything happens in the sports world, MyT's gonna drop a take faster than a rabbit gets fucked. There's only 3 things I have in this world. My word, my balls, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody.
Exactly.
MyT Sports Season 7.
Oh, it's almost time for me to raise that curtain up. Ready for that shit? Good. I look retarded. Good. You should see how I was doing. Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Down my dealer, aka the Brooklyn Buzzsaw, aka the Mad Podcaster, aka the Tin Man. Even though that aka really don't fit, aka Mr. Energy, aka the Motor Mouth of the South,
AKA Mr. I'm off the market.
AKA Mr. I'm off the market, AKA that's my girl in the background, AKA I'm the Black Gargamel, AKA we don't want to take one of me. We don't edit these shows for shit. Let's let you guys know. Like, we don't edit these shows for shit. Means that you get this motherfucker raw, you get it uncut. Like you understand? You catch all the fuck ups. Like you understand? Like dead air, like all like unnecessary recording in the background because I forgot to cut off the feed. Like
naked girlfriend walking around after she thought it was done.
Naked girlfriend walking around after she thought it was done. Yeah, there's an episode like that out there somewhere. Let's let you guys know. You got to really go dig it. Like you're gonna have to send one of your stats and info people to go look at that shit, yo, because we all over the place, yo. I ain't gonna lie though. I also realized that is low key our number one seen video. What is that? Is Annie? Nice. Can we get one? I'm joking. Ayo.
Shut up.
Ayo.
Shut up.
Cause I got a whole bunch in there that you just gotta go through.
For real?
For real, I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay, baby.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Bing
yo.
bong.
Oh shit, you see, that's what I like about baby. She be sleeping the podcast. I'm telling you, like she be
Bing bong.
I guarantee you, she got like podcast PTSD. She be walking around, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, my IT, Cleveland, this is for you. Doctors were like, I just asked you your name and address. But that's what happens when you listen to the MyT Sports Podcast.
And you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
Exactly. That's how we feel in Florida too. You want to say that louder one time, maybe? Hold on a second,
No, we're gonna do. Hi guys, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for showing my baby love. Thanks.
And don't forget to show me some more love by liking, sharing everywhere. Like, sharing, and subscribing. Because listen, when you subscribe, that means you definitely get a chance to hear that little
Bing bong
every single time that we go live. And you're going to want to know when we go live. Because when we go live, shit gets live. Right? And I'm telling you, we got a big show for you guys today. Listen, like I said, I'm AKA the Talent Thomar Taylor. And it is March 9th. If you know what I mean. We'll get that a little bit later. Right? This is season 7. episode 73 of this season, excerpt 406 of the MyT Sports Podcast. Big show. Big show. We talking like a kind of big show today, right? We got the Knicks surgeon. I tried to say that with a straight face. I really did. I tried to say that with a straight face. But we got the Knicks surgeon. We got quarterbacks on the move. We got UFC 272. We got the WWE Hall of Fame. We got Blue Chew to give away to you guys. We may get into a love to see it segment of the week, right? We got Ridley's dumbassery that we're gonna continue to talk about. We gonna get into a little bit of Philly special. We got the Boheims and we got Brittany. We may get into. We have all that and more today on the MyT Sports Podcast. But you know what we say? I think we said today we was gonna have like highs of like 90, lows of like 77. We was starting at 807. We started at 847. Well, we have plumbing work to do. You understand? Base, I'm trying to say that we had some pipe to lay. No, I'm just we really had a plumber over up in there. But we know it's a goalless of. That's the right line, right, baby? How does it go?
Regardless of the time.
Take that.
Regardless of the weather.
You play to win the game.
It's always a good time to talk some sports.
So, drop it low, girl. Drop it low, girl. Drop it low, girl. Drop it low, girl. Let's start talking. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. Man, there's so many things going on. It's tax. Can y'all see that? Y'all can't even see that, right? Let me make sure I get that in here, right? Let me make sure I get that in here for you guys, right? Because it's tax season up in this, like up in this bitch. So you guys gotta make sure that you get your taxes going on, right? So I want to make sure that you guys understand where to get those taxes done, and I'll make sure I'll pop up a little thing for you guys later on. Man, it's another big day in the MyT Sports Podcast. But you guys know how we really like to start off every single podcast, right? We like to start off every single podcast with a little birthday celebration, right? And what we do is that we like to highlight everybody that has had a birthday since the last time that we were live on air. So we'll be celebrating everybody that had a birthday from the 8th and the 9th. And also, we're gonna kind of have a celebration for the 9th, even though today the 9th kind of brings up a little a somber memory in hip hop history. Let's get that birthday party going on. Yeah, yo, open up the door so they can hear the music. Yeah, whoa. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. Alright, folks. It's not a hard song. It's not a hard birthday song to understand, right? Or to catch on to. If you've heard the words before, then go ahead and sing along. You know it's not hard. But if you haven't heard the song before, like I said, it's not hard for you to catch up. Let's go ahead and get it, folks. Because yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. Because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Check it, yeah. Check it, yeah. Alright, folks, I don't know if you caught that, right? I'm gonna go about this one more time, right? Just for the people that's the first time hearing it. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we do here on the MyT Sports Podcast, right? We start off every single podcast with a birthday celebration. I always like to have some kind of sports show going on in the background. Today I got a 2-for-1. I got a live Knicks game. I got an old wrestling match going on. I got this past Monday Night Raw on the TV screen as well, folks. So we got a little double dose. I got my girl over here. She gonna be a different kind of show. Ooh, baby, that's what I'm talking about. What that mouth do? Like a dungeon dragon. So, right, for the people on the birthday swing again. Here we go.
Bye, Pumpkin.
That's my name now? Pumpkin?
No. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Hey, off beat, what?
Yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Check it. Yeah, because it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, guys!
Happy birthday. Check it.
Regret nothing!
Check it. Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Alright, folks. So what we like to do, we like to say happy birthday to for everybody that had a birthday on March 8th. On March 8th, that was a birthday to my homegirl, Colette Lisa. Well, all right, listen. We don't even call you Colette. Like everybody that truly knows you, they just know you as Bubs, right? So we want to say happy birthday. Let's go and get Bubs a little happy. Let's go ahead and share this podcast on Facebook, right? And let's go ahead and make sure that we are able to gather all of our birthday people. But I want to say happy birthday to Bubs, right? And she had a birthday on March 8th, and I had no birthdays for March 9th, so there's only one birthday for me to go ahead and shout out to. So that's the only birthday I'm gonna go down to. So to Bubs, we want to wish you a happy birthday. We hope you party hard. We hope you enjoy everything. But more importantly, we hope you continue to stay MyT. All right. Let's keep that celebration music going just a little bit longer, if you don't mind, right? And the reason why I want that celebration music going just a little bit longer is for the simple... What the hell is going on here? It's for the simple fact that there was an iconic moment that happened today in hip-hop history, right? And while it may be the death of an icon, I don't want it to be death-related. I wanted to put him in here with the birthday celebration, right? Because if we've gone so far past the tragedy of it, I feel for most people, that now all we do is celebrate his life. And that is one Biggie Smalls, folks. Biggie Smalls died on March 9th. What was that great cannabis lie? When LL Cool J was over there trying to ruin his career, actually kind of did ruin his career. But he said the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. Check that. Yeah. So, folks, we have that, folks. Happy birthday to you, Bubs. And rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. Rest in power to Biggie Smalls. Still influential to this day. We still feeling you, my brother. You know, spread love is the Brooklyn way. People remember, and that's the thing about Biggie, right? It's like people remember his words as if it was gospel, right? Because I'm from Brooklyn, and I ain't gonna lie, I grew up in a grimy era of Brooklyn. And that spread love is the Brooklyn way. Like, that didn't become a mantra, right? Or a saying or a phrase for people from Brooklyn until Biggie put it out there. And then once he put it out there, we was like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Spread love is the Brooklyn way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's how we get down in Brooklyn. Like, yo, you can love me or hate me, but once you get to know me, you gonna love me. Like that's that Biggie Brooklyn shit. So definitely any chance that we get, we want to big up we want to big up Biggie, right? And big up and celebrate his life, because he definitely was influential to hip hop and a whole entire generation of people. And honestly, even to this day, to a whole entire borough. Right? But let's go talk about one of the boroughs that he may have influenced that isn't Brooklyn. And that is the borough of Manhattan, folks. And in Manhattan is where the New York Knicks play a game called basketball, folks. And as you guys know, the New York Knicks just happen to be my favorite team of all time. All time, right? As favorite as favorite can be. That is how I feel when we talking about the New York Knicks here, right? And I know you feel like, yo, you should love the Brooklyn Nets. You're from Brooklyn. Yeah. It came a little bit too late. And I witnessed Knicks winning. And I know what it means to be relevant and a winning Knicks fan. But Brooklyn has a small place in my heart. They have a small place in my heart. But right now, it's not that time for Brooklyn to shine. Like I said, we will spread our love a little bit somewhere else, and we're going to talk about this New York Knicks. With our Knicks talk, we got that Knicks talk, Whether it's in the light or in the dark, whether they win, they lose, from beginning to start, we got that Knicks talk, Ooh, we got that Knicks talk, And folks, the New York Knicks currently have a record of 27-38. The Knicks have been surging, like to really be tongue in cheek, to be honest with you. right? The Knicks are surging right now as they've won their last 2 games. Currently, they have an early lead up on the Dallas Mavericks. They're leading them 21-13. I did advise you guys that I do keep games on and sporting events on in the background. Like I said, I have Monday Night Raw and I do have the Knicks versus Dallas game. And the New York Knicks, they're on a weird 2-game winning streak. And both of those games, you wouldn't have been surprised if the New York Knicks would have lost. Right, like real talk, to be honest, they had a back-to-back, one on the 6th and one on the 7th. They stayed in California, they played the Clippers, and then they played the Sacramento Kings. Now, I think we were we on air? No, we weren't on air. We weren't on air for the Clippers game, we was on air for the Sacramento game. And we already talked about the Clippers game, where we thought that they probably were going to lose that Clippers game. New York Knicks were up for a little bit, and we were like, you know what? Them having a lead, that really doesn't matter to me. But you know what? They actually managed to hold off for that whole entire game. And it didn't really move the needle for me. And then the next win came. I guess the next game came, I should say. Against the Sacramento Kings. And it's the Sacramento Kings, right? Anytime it's the Sacramento Kings, you don't really you don't really get excited about wins against the Kings. But there is one thing that I couldn't ignore, right? And yeah, it was a win against the Kings. And at first, I probably was as unmoved and unimpressed as anybody. Even as the Knicks were down by 20 and they would end up having a 20 and erasing that 20-point lead and end up coming back to win that game with Julius Randall putting up a career high 46 points. Even that didn't really fully impress me. In these last 2 games, I was happy to see 2 things. The continued great play of RJ Barrett and the continued cohesiveness that you see building between all of the young players, right? All of the young players are on this squad, which Knicks fans have been begging, literally begging the New York Knicks to play. I was unimpressed because it's one of those things that I'm seeing some stats here that the New York Knicks before February 1st went from allowing 104 points a game to 116 points a game, which is the biggest point differential since that time frame. So for the month of February, they just basically kind of sucked. And it looked like something just kind of clicked, or maybe at the end of March. But like I said, there's a lot of young players. You see Julius Randall, he's having some better games. Emmanuel quickly just missed a little chippy, but looked like he was fouled. RJ Barrett has been probably the number one consistent force for the New York Knicks since the calendar year. We've talked about that. We've talked about in overabundance that I'm pretty sure that your Knicks cup of RJ Barrett has officially run it over, right? But it still haven't run it over enough so that it can go ahead and saturate into the other areas of the team, or more importantly, the other teammates that we have, right? I'm gonna bring this one a little bit this way a little bit. I wasn't excited for the New York Knicks being the Sacramento Kings, and I shouldn't be, right? But out of not being excited and being unmoved, I actually later on was at least happy that they won, because the alternative is them losing to a team is me coming here and saying that, you know what, New York Knicks get on my goddamn nerves. They keep losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to. But what am I saying? It's a New York Knicks, right? But no. This time around, not only did they beat a team that they should beat, they also beat a team that they shouldn't beat. So now, the New York Knicks are on a 2-game winning streak. It's early. They have a 8-point lead over on Dallas. Excuse me. We'll see how this game continues to play out. Luka Doncic, since they traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Washington, keep wanting to call them Washington Bullets. Oh man, but listen, don't worry. We're gonna talk about the wackos later. And if you don't know who the wackos are, let's just think football, and let's just think about one of the teams that I like to poke fun of. What's going on, Shugs? How you doing? Can you hear me? Actually, that's all right. Let's see. It'll let me know if I need to make any adjustments or not to the podbean. Oh no, definitely. I must be able to be heard because Mark came in with his pots and pans clanging. Actually, I think it was music this time. So, love you too, Shugs. That's my girlfriend. I love my girl. Like, she be over here supporting the shit out of me. She be popping on every time I'm over here recording, making sure that she shares it and she's interactive. And that's how everybody should be when they hop onto the Podbean, or when they hop onto the podcast. Like even my 2 co-hosts, make sure you share it. Make sure that when you share it on your social media pages, your Facebook, your Instagrams, your Twitters, whatever you have, that you tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, because by doing that trifecta of social media fandom, that is the only way to make sure that you get the
Bing bong
every single time that we go on. So New York Knicks have now increased their league up to 15 as we do see a Deuce McBride appearance. Oh, I am so happy I put this on the big screen because now I can see everything without squinting. I can see Tom Thibodeau looking like the Penguin. Yo. Hey yo, I got no sense. Hey Shugs, can you hear me on Podbean? I see you follow me everywhere else, but can you hear me on Podbean? Please, if you can, let me know. I am being Podbean subconscious right now, and because that's our call-in line. But let me switch over. Let's see if we have anybody typing in, or if we have anybody in the comments. I see you guys in the chat rooms. I see you guys. Don't worry. I see you guys. We will get to that a little bit later on in the show. Hey, so Knicks fans, I don't have a lot of Knicks talk to get into. Right? I'm not gonna go super deep into the Knicks today, right? Like I said, I'm just happy that it is now looking more like a young team that has some veteran leadership sprinkled in there versus a veteran team. Which the only reason why you should have a veteran team is if that veteran team has been a winning team or a championship team or even a championship contending team where you've been like where you've been to the conference championships multiple time kind of shit. I don't think my Shugs can hear me because I don't see her responding. Can you guys hear me on Podbean? I see Mark still here, but Mark not here. What the hell? What's going on, Mark? Drunk uncles are popping into the podcast. As you know, like, listen, we don't just have like AKAs for like me. Like the whole show got AKAs. Like this is AKA the Drunk Uncle podcast. Like AKA, like what's the other AKAs? I gotta get these other AKAs for the show. Like out onto the Ethernet for you guys. What's going on, Mark? What, can you guys not hear me on Podbean? I see you hopping back and forth. Right, next time, I'm not gonna sit here and talk much long about the Knicks. The Knicks are at the point where they're in a weird way still in postseason contention, right? And postseason contention just means that they are still not mathematically eliminated from making the play-in tournament. No, I'm not at Sharky's. Not today. Not today. That dude suck at rolling big die. I'll be back. We'll be back at Sharky's next weekend though, or next Wednesday, and then after that it'll be the Wednesday after that, and then the Wednesday after that. You know, but always every other Wednesday after the first Wednesday of the month. Just I guess to help everybody figure it out, because sometimes that don't quite equate to being every other week, but just take whatever month has like that first. So sometimes we may have some back to backs, because you know that every other may fall on like the last. Which game is this? Oh, this is back when Carmelo Anthony and Dirk Nowitzki was still playing for their respectable teams, New York and Dallas. I want to see that shit. They showing Dirk Nowitzki making great last second game winning shots against the New York Knicks. Monte Ellis is on that team. I used to love me some Monte Ellis. Back in those early Golden State days. But Golden State Warriors did the right thing by getting rid of Monte Ellis for Stephen Curry. Like I said, like there was some people. I still remember the shock that there was around the league when Monte Ellis was the guy. When Monte Ellis was the person that got traded from that team. Like I still remember some of the backlash. And now all those people that thought that, hey, you know what? Oh, all those people that thought that, like you notice how none of them have ever come forward, and also how they've never repeated that dumb shit ever again. I wonder if they're the same people that are probably at this point in time that they are probably the biggest. This is gonna be nice. I'm gonna enjoy this. It seems like we have a nice little. I want to say it's not a gimmick match, but on Sunday WrestleMania, I thought this would have been better. Saturday WrestleMania, we're gonna see Pat McAfee taking on, Austin Fury. As Austin Fury right now is in a match against Finn Balor. Finn Balor, who just won the United States Championship, as he's gonna go into WrestleMania as a championship, and he's probably gonna have a match against Damian Priest, and they're gonna do their thing at WrestleMania. That's a nice little change for Damian Priest. We'll talk some WWE a little bit later on the podcast as well, and actually we're gonna be talking about WWE next in the podcast, just to let you guys know. So back to the Knicks. The New York Knicks aren't quite eliminated from the play-in tournament, and that is the beauty, right, of them extending the play-in tournament. Is that you have the New York Knicks with a record of, what did I just say, 27-38. They are a 12th seed in the East. Normally, that 12th seed isn't making it up to the 8th seed. But in this particular instance, that 12th seed can very much so sneak in and catch themselves in the 10th spot and sneak into the play-in tournament. Like, it is not beyond the realm of possibility. Like I said, the New York Knicks have won 2 straight games. They now have a 19-point lead early in the second quarter against the Dallas Mavericks. Emmanuel quickly just missed a wide-open three-pointer. They're getting back on defense. You see Deuce over here pressing up the primary ball handler, and nope, didn't get a charge, didn't get anything. He's playing against Jalen Brunson, and that's gonna be good to see as well, as we see a missed three-pointer by the Dallas Mavericks. I'm probably gonna end up watching this game again just to watch not only the Emmanuel Quickly against Jalen Brunson, but also Deuce McBride against Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has been a name that has been floated around in Knicks rumors for the majority of this whole entire year. As we all know that Jalen Brunson's father played for the Knicks. He was also Leon Rose's first client as well. And he was also born in New York as well when his dad was playing for the Knicks. So that's a guy that the New York Knicks are talking about trying to bring into this organization as an answer to their point guard problems. So this is a good game to see how guys like Emmanuel Quickly and Deuce McBride take right? Take those rumors, and they're not just rumors, but take those storylines and take the fact that, hey, this is the guy that they wanted to replace you guys with. This is the guy that they want to bring in because they don't think that you guys are good enough to get the job done. Right now, we have an early 38 to 17 point lead. And we're seeing all the young guys. I seen Jericho Sims so far. I seen Deuce McBride. We seen Emmanuel Quickly. Let's see. I haven't seen any Obi Toppin as of yet. If I haven't quite noticed him, because I don't know if he's back from his hamstring injury. We see R.J. Barrett just had a nice little drive to the basket as R.J. Barrett continues to look impressive. 1, 2 dribbles. He gathers, puts his shoulders into the defender. He goes and he's left-handed and he finishes on the right side of the rim, but he finishes with his left hand. He draws an and one. Knicks go up 40-17. He makes his free throw. Now they're up 41-17. Folks, we're gonna mark this down because you guys know how I feel about this, right? With 2 minutes left, right? 2 minutes, second quarter, 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. 41 to 17 point lead for the New York Knicks. We're gonna keep track of this because the New York Knicks have been furious, right? Since this is the day that Biggie Smalls died, they are notorious for blowing 20+ point leads. I want to say that the New York Knicks have blown more 20-point leads than any team in this league. And if they're not a team that has blown more 20-point leads, I want to say that they've been blown out or they've given up more 20-point differentials than any other team in this league. It has been ridiculous how they've looked. And that's the reason why when they beat Sacramento, I actually had to say to myself, you know what, T, you're being a little too harsh on them. You gotta be like DMX, another rest in peace, right? Right? You gotta take the good with the bad, right? Oh shit, look at it's about rest in peace. Look at Damian Priest in this all black gear as he makes his heel turn. He's gonna make a nice. He's gonna be a nice heel. They would have loved him either way, and he realized that they will love you as a face. They'll love you as a heel. So either way, the people are gonna feed into him. He gets a nice little pop.
It's Maggie. We're gonna shoot her, right?
Where the fuck is that coming from? Where the fuck is that coming from?
If it's a villain he wants,
There we go. I'm blaming that on Mark again. So I had to be fair to the New York Knicks, right? And the fairness is, while I don't want to be, I'm not going to get overly joyed for them beating the Sacramento Kings. I'm not going to be overly joyed for them having to come back from the Sacramento Kings because they shouldn't have been down against the Sacramento Kings to begin with, right? I'm not going to be overly exuberated, right? Like that's not gonna happen. But I can be satisfied and I can be happy for them, because the alternative is them losing and me being upset. And I don't want to sound like I'm upset when they win games. Julius Randle had a 46-point game. It was good to see Julius Randle back kind of focused again. Like I said, to be honest with you, Julius Randle's points right now are so they're officially empty calories to me. I don't even notice him scoring anymore. That's the crazy thing about it. I don't even notice him scoring anymore. If he, like, at the end of the game, I kind of just see that he has put up bucks. I'm like, oh, damn, that's how many points he has. Because when he does shit now, I'm just like, Like, even, like, and the thing about it has gotten to the point where he can be doing good. And because it's Julius Randle now, I can't even see the good in what he does anymore. I am completely turned off and disgusted by Julius Randle, all as a whole. Now, after the New York Knicks, after they have this game against the Dallas Mavericks, right? They are, where they at? Here we go. Right? To finish out the rest of the week, the New York Knicks will be, oh, wrong one. See, this is when I should have had this up already. So you guys will just bear with me a moment as we get this up. I thought I had the New York Knicks schedule up already. I'm telling you, I am really liking how this Wrestlemania is shaping up so far. Right? It has a lot of young talent. Right? Yeah. It has a lot of young talent being showcased, and you can see the direction that that these guys are moving towards. I like it. They have a lot of big matches coming. We're seeing Becky Lynch taking on Bianca Belair, as I think this is Bianca Belair's now second straight WrestleMania in a row. Then you also have, like I said, we have Pat McAfee. He's making a WrestleMania appearance, and I don't think he's had a fight at WrestleMania, but he was in an NXT Takeover match that I think was their equivalent to the show that they put on right at WrestleMania, and also he took on the biggest star that they had at the time. I think it was Adam Cole, baby, who's now a part of AEW. You see RK Bro, they won their championships back. So it's going to be a title unification match, it looks like, possibly against RK Bro and the Usos. We have the title unification match against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns still coming up. So we already talked about Damian Priest taking on Finn Balor. That's going to be for the United States Championship. We have the Women's Tag Team Championship that's going to be on the line. Well, every championship is going to end up being on the line. I said it is basically WrestleMania. It would actually be fairly odd if you had a championship that wasn't on the line in WrestleMania. And this isn't my official WWE talk. We just kind of combined the two, just to let you guys know. New York Knicks currently right now are still up by 20 points over the Dallas Mavericks, 43-23, as it looks like RJ Barrett just drew another foul. I'm telling you right now, right? RJ Barrett, right? He has a quiet game. And I've said this about him in the past, right? He reminds me of Luka in the sense that he doesn't move very fast, but you don't speed him up. Like, I think there's a guy named Anderson. I don't know if it's not a Nick Anderson. Maybe it is, or maybe it is. But it's a guy named maybe it's Kyle Anderson that they call slow-mo, right? In the NBA. And I want to say RJ Barrett portrays kind of some similar traits, but I'm still on this, like, I want to call him like slow drip Barrett. You know what I mean? Because that's how it is. So the New York Knicks have a ridiculous road skip, right? As you saw, like, they've been on the road for some time now. It started off in Philly where they took an L, and then they played the Phoenix Suns where they also took an L, and that was 2 L's out of, like, I think almost 9 in a row. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 straight losses. And then on the road still, they beat the Clippers, and then they stayed in Cali and they beat the Sacramento Kings. As I told you, they have a 21-point lead right now against the Dallas Mavericks. And they go play Memphis. They play the Memphis Grizzlies, who we expect they're gonna lose to. And then they go back and they play the Brooklyn Nets, who they probably expect they're gonna lose to as well. And that's gonna finish off what is a 7-game road swing for the New York Knicks. And you know what? Depending on how this turns out, right? Because right now they're currently 500 on a 7-game road swing. If they finish above 50%, or granted that isn't a big step to closing out. To closing out and making postseason play, right? But next ball. But what this road trip could possibly be doing, right? And we could be seeing it as the young guys are being forced to play. We're seeing a shift. We're seeing a shift in leadership and in power from Julius Randle to RJ Barrett, because the weird thing about it is that the moment that RJ Barrett becomes an equal of Julius Randle, he has technically surpassed him. And I need you guys to follow me there. I understand that, right? That the moment that that RJ Barrett, the moment that RJ surpasses or becomes an equal of JR, he has passed him. And this now becomes exactly what we wanted it to be, and that is RJ Barrett's team. You're starting to see not only the young guys playing, right? But with the young guys playing and this road swing, this could be one of those galvanizing road swings. This is a long ass road swing. This is wait, let's see here. I know I just told you it was 7 games, right? But this is on the road from March 10th all the way to March 14th. Right? I mean, well, let's call it March 12th, right? 10 days on the road. Because after they played Memphis, their next game is in Brooklyn. And if their next game is in Brooklyn, you know they're coming home. Because, you know, a lot of these guys are, you know, they play the New York Knicks. They played in Manhattan. Who was that? Was that Deuce? Was that Deuce? You have to replay that for me. But you see Deuce get the rebound, right? Come off with the rebound, gets the ball, take a hard drive to the lane, to get a nice bucket. I'm telling you, man. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we was asking about. Like, why weren't guys like Deuce McBride getting more minutes when he's putting up 30 points and 10 assists in the G League? Like, if you're putting up 30, whoa. Oh, shit. So at WrestleMania, we're going to have the KO show with Steve Austin? Are we about to see a match with Steve Austin and KO at WrestleMania? Oh, man, it just went off. Shit. Fuck. Cock shit. You know what? Let me see if I can get TNT live. All right? Only because I want to see AEW. I never get a chance to watch AEW, and I have no clue how to catch re-airs of them. All right? And that is a horrible fate that I have to live with. I know we're still talking Knicks, even though I said that it won't be long for us to talk. That we're not gonna sit here and talk Knicks. But again, if this is one of those, and that's probably why I'm extending this, because this is just a train of thought that just popped into my head, that Big Bobin, you know, you guys are stupid. That if this is one of those galvanizing road trips, then the New York Knicks actually making a postseason run isn't a bad thing. And this may be one of those few times where you actually can say the momentum that you would have been building at the end of the season may actually be able to transfer to the next season, because this will be momentum with guys that are staying and on your young guys that are also durable. This isn't trying to catch lightning in a bottle with your iffy guys, right? Your Nerson Noels and your Taj Gibsons and your Derrick Roses and your Kimball Walkers, right? Those are all your iffy guys. Like, you never know if they're gonna play or not. You never know if giving them too many minutes, or if, you know what I mean? Because we know for a fact, you play RJ Barrett 42 minutes for the whole entire season, he's good now. He's still young. Julius Randle, for the most part, still kind of, like, even though he gives a lot of empty calories right now, RJ Barrett early on, 14 points, 6 for 8 shooting for the field goal range, and also 3 rebounds. I mean, and I know he has a couple of, he should have a couple of free throws in there as well. Right, but that's good for RJ Barrett. You talking about 14 points early in the first half, and we still have about a half of a quarter to go, about 4 minutes to go. So if you're a Knicks fan, right, this actually is an exciting time again, right? And that's if, because that is a possibility that they may not get into the postseason, right? And they may not get that last slot. But the fight that you now see being put on by this team and these young guys is different. The effort level is different, because now you don't have to manage anybody. You don't have to tailor them. You don't have to worry about holding back. Like, Tom Thibodeau realized, like, he don't even realize that, but what he's been able to do now is that he can fully unlock effort, because you don't have to worry about pacing anybody. The New York Knicks, during a couple of those wins, not these last 2 wins, but a couple of those wins a couple of weeks ago, Julius Randle talked about how they really had wanted to up their pace and their tempo, and when they play with good pace and tempo, like it's a lot easier for them, obviously, and they find themselves being a better team. Well, what do you think young guys are gonna do? Young guys are gonna give you a nice little tempo and a nice little pace. You know who can't give you pace and tempo? Taj Gibson and Kemba Walker. On the floor at the same time with Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. Like, what the fuck you do that at, my boy? Speaking of Evan Fournier, we get back-to-back threes. One by Julius Randle and one by Evan Fournier. And it looks like Evan Fournier may have had a foot on the line, like they only gave him 2 for that. New York Knicks open up their lead. 55-27. I'm gonna mark that down again. Right? As Dallas just missed the shot. 2 minutes to go. 3:08. 55-27. New York Knicks have doubled. Well, I guess they've been doubling up on them, because when we did it, when we checked in on this score about 5 minutes ago, in action. What's going on, Poe? No sound. I love you though. Thank you for somebody finally letting me know that shit. I've been trying to get this figured out for this whole entire time if I had audio, because it showed that I had audio, but I wasn't quite sure. Do I have audio back? I see Chill Will just popped in. I came to Insta. I seen that poll. Thank you for letting me know that I had no audio on Podbean, because I've been trying to figure that shit out. And it looked like I still don't have audio on Podbean. So let me go ahead. Hold on. Let me let Chill know that I'm resetting now, because it don't sound like they can hear me. Right, so Knicks fans, right? This is a hell of a game that they're having right now. This is a hell of a game. We're gonna see how they, you know how we feel as a Knicks fans, right? We fear the third quarters, right? And even the second half, because New York Knicks, like I said, they're furious, notorious, right? For blowing. They're notorious for blowing 20-point leads. So we're gonna really watch this game and hope that they don't blow this lead. And we're gonna move on, because we are finishing this podcast at 11:07 p.m. tonight. Even though we started about 30 minutes later, like we are gonna finish on time because of one. Let me see. Lyric sees you. Oh, nice. How you doing, Lyric? How you doing? She loves to watch sports too. That's what's up. All right, so we've reset everything, and hopefully that you guys can hear us now on the Podbean app. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and move on from the Knicks, and we'll go ahead and keep you updated on the score of the Knicks as they keep on. Like I said, Knicks fans, this could be one of those. These last 2 wins and this road trip could be a flashpoint into the season, right? A flashpoint of a turnaround into the season. But one of those turnarounds that can truthfully be categorized as momentum that we are building to next season. And not because I don't really like that saying very often, right? This is one of those times that if the New York Knicks can do what I hope they can do, right? Or say what I am putting into the Ethernet, right? The intentions that I am putting onto them. What's going on, Paul? Can you hear me yet? Ah, perfect. Thank you. I've been asking everybody for about, I think, like a good hour if they can hear me on Podbean. Obviously, they can't hear me but they also haven't been there staying long enough to hear me to see me type it either. And my girl was like, she was listening on Podbean, or she had the Podbean up, but she wasn't following like on the comments to see me keep saying it. And I don't know if she's hearing me. Like, I feel like she's everywhere. Like she has me up on everything, but she has me muted. Just so she knows, like, I have to listen to this nigga enough times. Like, I'm on this shit. I mean, I gotta listen. Listen, man, I get on her nerves. Like, I fully get on her nerves. Like, she gonna stab me one day, and you guys are gonna know that I got on her nerves. Alright. Oh man, yeah, she's amazing. She has great energy, and you know, here we got big pod energy over here as well. right? So speaking of some big energy, right? As you heard us talking about, some things that wrestling has going on. WWE is preparing for Wrestlemania. As you guys know, Wrestlemania is coming up and is just a few, actually weeks away. I was about to say, it's coming up in April, but WrestleMania this year. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, April 2nd, 2000. Wait a minute. Hold up. Isn't that my godson's birthday? Oh, hold up. Like, did they know that that's what they... Okay, you know what? They lucky it's wrestling. They lucky it, out of all the sports, yeah, they lucky it's wrestling. But it's WrestleMania. So I'm really not a fan of that shit either. But they're lucky it's wrestling. Wrestling may be the one sport that I may allow you to plan. Oh, we got Taj Gibson hitting threes. God damn. You know when Taj Gibson is hitting threes, like we know we must be having a new moon coming soon. New York Knicks, 61-34, 18 seconds left to go in the first half. They are currently up. They are currently beating the Dallas Mavericks. Yes, folks. Luka Doncic is playing. Jalen Brunson is playing, folks. Kristaps Porzingis is in Washington now. We're gonna talk about the wackos later. Yo, I really care. I really need Mark and KJ to pop up in the room, and even Chill Will, right? Because I need them to guess when I say that that a team's name is called the Wackos. Who the fuck am I talking about? Actually, I'm opening this up to everybody. You know, speaking of opening, let me unfold my arms. I'm over here sitting back. Like I'm talking while smoking a peace pipe. Like what was that show? Remember there used to be that show back in the day where motherfucker used to read you stories while he was dressed in front of a robe, smoking a pipe in front of a fucking fireplace. Remember that shit? Like I'm over here potting, talking about sports like I'm one of them niggas. Like today on Masterpiece Theater, Sports Masterpiece Theater, we talk about the WWA and their retirement of the great Undertaker. And that's how I'm sitting back over here, my hands folded and everything. You know what I mean? Yo, she's my biggest fan, for real. She is. She's my biggest, youngest fan. Even better. That's what's up. Thank you, Poe. Thank you. So WWE is going through their showcase of the Immortals, which their showcase of the Immortals is WrestleMania, and they're planning their big WrestleMania event. But that's not really one of what I talk about was the matches for WrestleMania, because if you guys were listening earlier in the podcast, I kind of started giving you guys a small run through of some of the matches that was going to be taking place for WrestleMania already. Right, like I said, like the heavyweight matches is going to be between. Oh, this is the dude. If I'm watching the Knicks game, like I hear somebody calling a challenge or about like that. I forget his name, but he has he has the best voice in referee business. Like if I feel like I want to reach out to him just to get him on the podcast, just so people could hear his voice. I just want his voice heard everywhere. You know, he's a cool dude, and I keep forgetting that Jason Kidd is the coach for Dallas Mavericks. I really did forget about that shit, because you know what? This not only has this team been winning, but there's been no scandal. And I think that has really helped. How many teams has Jason Kidd coached now? It's been Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and now Dallas. So he got New York, he got Giannis, and then he got Dallas and Luka. Or Texas and Luka. Damn. Like, they talked about Jason Kidd, but people must have really loved him. I'm just saying they must have really loved him. But just like how people love the two individuals that I'm going to talk about in WWE history, right? We mentioned one individual a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last week, and we're gonna bring in a second individual now as more people keep being will continue to be announced leading up to WrestleMania. But the night before WrestleMania, WWE likes to do a Hall of Fame ceremony. And the first name mentioned in their Hall of Fame ceremony is undeniably one of, and to some, considered the biggest name in wrestling business. It is truly, truly, truly difficult to talk about, or for me to even remember wrestling over the last 30 years, or through the last 4 decades, through the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 10s, and now the 20s. 5 decades. Yeah. I hate all you. Without mentioning the name Undertaker and how influential he has been to WWE, and how not just influential but iconic he has been in WWE. You understand? Not only having a career that has spanned, like I said, it feels like going into 5 decades, or probably he wrestled into 4 decades, right? I don't remember him wrestling into the 20s, but where he wrestled for 4 decades, and he had a 20-year Wrestlemania streak. That when it finally was broken, it was broken by the guy right now who is still one of the top dogs and individuals that is running and baddest man in WWE, and that is one Brock Lesnar. And that's also because when guys like Brock Lesnar or Ronda Rousey come into the game, to keep it a little bit realistic, you can't deny people like that championships or their glory. So if you're gonna bring Brock Lesnar back into the game, you have to bring him into the game and let everybody realize how badass he is. And how badass was he? He demolished the Undertaker at WrestleMania, where Undertaker had a 21 match winning streak. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's what was going on. So Undertaker will be inducted into their Hall of Fame, right? And we all know Undertaker has gone through them all, right? Or wrestled with them all. He's kind of like Brock Lesnar in a way, right? Where he has wrestled with them all, and when it came time for also the young talents coming up, he's also gone through them all. We're talking about The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. He fought Brock Lesnar, but he ended up losing to him. He beat Roman Reigns. He beat Shawn Michaels. I think he retired. Did he retire Shawn Michaels? I can't remember. But he beat Triple H. We're talking about Randy Orton. I want to say one year maybe he beat Bam Bam Bigelow. And the reason why I mentioned Bam Bam Bigelow is because we also have another heavyweight in WWE that's about to get retired as well. And that is one by the name of Vader. And I ain't gonna lie. Like, Vader, like, there's Undertaker, who is like this steady phenom of wrestling, and Vader was like a cult classic. I didn't enjoy a lot of WCW in those early days, right? When they were just battling against WWE, but really well before the Eric Bischoff's time, right? I didn't enjoy WCW too much, right? It always seemed, I'm gonna tell you something, right? Actually, no, I don't want to say it because it may also apply right here to me and probably explain how I am the way I am. But lighting and their visual effects, right? And how the lighting was, I was like, something just isn't off. I don't like this shit. Right? And I feel like my lighting is off today. I don't like that shit either. Just to let you know, I still don't like that shit. So, but there were a few individuals that, if I knew that they were wrestling that night at WCW, or the few times I would go to WCW to go look, it was to watch like certain individuals wrestle, right? Like Sting when he still was wearing his Hulk Hogan colors, right? When he was still colorful. Vader. Who else was over there in WCW? Ric Flair at one point in time, right? I want to say the Four Horsemen as a whole were also WCW product originally. Dean Malenko, Taz. Like, they had some guys that you just really wanted to watch. And I also may be crossing brands as well. The Sandman. Now I'm going into ECW. Now I'm definitely going into ECW. I know I am now. I've officially crossed my streams. And we should never cross streams. Remember that when you're a little kid? You guys can't wait to go to the bathroom. And it's 3, 4 y'all, sometimes even 2 of y'all using the same bathroom, and y'all start sword fighting, crossing streams and shit, you know, like Star Wars shit, So let's get back on track. So there's the Undertaker, right? And then there's Vader, and I feel like Vader was like a cult following, right? Like to like Vader was something completely different. Like, he was a maniac, but yo, he was so damn good and efficient, and he got the pop out of the crowd. He so got the pop out of the crowd that was necessary. When I saw that Vader was going into the Hall of Fame, I wasn't upset about it. I can't say I was surprised, because eventually WWE finds a way to acknowledge a lot of their stars, and for what they did, and for the time frame that they were able to be for when they were popular, and they gave their all into the company. But Vader was like a rock and roll cult classic, and I'm happy to see him make it into the Hall of Fame. So, if you would like to perform like a Hall of Famer, there's only one thing that you guys know that you really need to do, right? As you guys know, right? So for our Knicks talk and our WWE talk, actually, our Knicks talk, because that's the blue portion of it. But we had to make sure, but some Hall of Fame talk had to come in here, and I was like, you know what? I can't talk blue and Hall of Famer without tying in the two. And you too could perform like a Hall of Famer with some Blue Chew. What is Blue Chew? Blue Chew just happens to be a little blue pill that can get you back your throat. All you need to do is open up a pack and head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do. This thing has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity that you really just can't miss. And for a very low cost, you can beat it up like a boss, and she will love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. All you have to listen. One thing that you need to do, right? You can use this week's promo code of LVSJ, Lima Victor Sierra Juliet, and you'll be able to get your first order for Blue Chew for free on me. The only thing that you'll have to do is pay for shipping and handling. That shit isn't completely free, but the shipping and handling fee isn't for me. That is so you can pay your postal workers. Take care of them. Rain, sleet, hail, snow, sunshine. Those are those guys, and they deserve a little bit of money for their time. But Blue Chew, it has two simple instructions. You chew it, and then you do it. Depending on what kind of music you into, depending on what you be doing. You could like yourself some hip hop, and you want to go LL Cool J style, and you can doing it well, or you could be an R&B well, and you could do it Lionel Richie style, and you could do it all night long. But I guarantee that you will be doing it. Make sure that you consult your physician before taking any medical pills and stuff like that, because these are medications, and there will be medical side effects. All right. Blue Chew. Chew it and do it. All right, let's stay with a little combat sports, right? Let's stay some combat sports. We talked about, briefly, right? And I say briefly, right? We talked about UFC 252 and Kofi Covington fight very briefly the other day, right? But let's go ahead and revisit that fight, because you know what? Before we go there, let's just drop this. It's been a while.
JMA.
I finished fight pit.
Alrighty. Welcome back to the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm glad you guys are still here. So, we had UFC 272, right? Kofi Covington versus... I'm forgetting his name already. Who we had here? Kofi Covington versus... Didn't write that down either. Okay, here, put this down here. Versus Masvidal. Right? Colby Covington, I forget where he's from. Masvidal, he's supposed to be from Miami, Florida. And I feel like I didn't like Masvidal the first time around. And then this time around, I didn't like Colby Covington. Colby Covington has a little bit of Mayweather appeal to him, where he finds a way to kind of self-promote and be obnoxious to the point where you want to watch his fights just to see him lose kind of shit, right? And a lot of the individuals that are usually able to self-promote, they become polarizing in that sense. Where you either want to watch to see them continue to win because you think they're great, or you want to watch just to see them get their ass whooped because you think they're an asshole. I generally like a lot of these self-promoters. Like I said, or at least enjoy when they're doing their job. Like the Floyd Mayweathers and the Conor McGregors. And I guess now we got the Colby, Muhammad Ali. But now we have Colby Covington, and I feel like he's more of an asshole. But though, I feel like he reminds me of the guy that does a lot of the commentating now for UFC, the American Badass. I'm forgetting his name. I feel like he reminds me a lot of him at times, right? When it comes to his shit talking and how he promotes and antagonizes his opponents. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I learned something in this match that I didn't know before. I'm just gonna talk about this Colby Covington match, right? Like, we ain't gonna talk about the fact that Greg Hardy got his ass whooped again, right? But you know what? We're glad to see Greg Hardy in not just a position, right, to get his ass whooped, but doing something that he likes, where whether he gets his ass whooped or not, he just wants to be out there and he wants to fight, right? And I need to take this score down at the half, right? I ain't gonna lie. I need to get this Knicks score down at the half. Let's let you guys know what it is. Because the New York Knicks have been up. Let's see. That was a 24-point lead. They currently hold They had as much as a 28-point lead. Right, I don't want to have to do this math again. That was 24, and that was 28. Going into the half, we'll come back and look and see exactly where that score is at again. So I completely learned something in this Colby Covington fight, or UFC 272, right? And that was that they have replays, to be honest with you. And I could really be behind like the curve on this one. And I can show you how out of touch I've been with the UFC, where I've just kind of been more watching. I'm over here with my shit like it's a Kangol. I'm cool like that, though. yo, for real. With my shower cat, like that shit's a motherfucking Kangol. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, yo. I'm just being silly, to be honest with you. So, I didn't know that there were reviews, and I really could be out of touch. But I did not know that there was a such thing as a review. But not even as a review, but such an extensive usage of reviews at that, where they weren't sure if it was an eye poke. It was confirmed by whoever, right? Whoever needed to be ahead of time. They had it ready for the referee, right? Or the referee to go ahead and see this within the minute break that they have in between rounds. The part that got to me is that he was like, hey, that was an eye poke. He's like, no. I saw the replay. It was an eye poke. I'm giving you a warning. Happens again, I'm taking away a point. I was like, oh. So they're fully applying it as if it's real time. I thought it was going to be like, okay, it's an eye poke. Now I know next time that I'm not going to give you that benefit of the doubt and make that your first warning. You know what I mean? But no, no, I saw you. This is now your warning. Let you know that I seen you. And no doubt, it took less than a minute. It took less than a minute because you figure he had to walk over there. After he breaks it at the minute clock starts, those guys are over there. They're sucking down their water. They're getting ice put all over their shoulder and their back and their upper neck and shit like that. You know, that motherfuckers taking that little metal plate shit and they're over there moving fucking lumps from their eye or their forehead all the way down to their goddamn cheekbone and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, they going through all that, B. I just realized that me having a Kangol with the kind of like design shirt I have on would actually go really well, and that was completely unintentional. I'm not gonna lie, but that's how unconsciously your boy is so fly. Okay, there was some scoring that happened, and I missed it. But coming out of the half, the New York Knicks went up early, 61-36 is this score. So that's what I'm going to call the score at the half. Even though I know there was some scoring that happened, we're going to call that the score at the half. New York Knicks up by 25 points at the half. Let's see what happens through the course of this game. I'm sober. I am beyond sober. So, if I start becoming incoherent and belligerent and upset, it's not because I'm drunk. I'm not drinking anything. I got water. I had some lemonade earlier. It's truly because the New York Knicks have made me drunk mad with rage from how they're playing. So, if you see my mood take a full left turn, like I'm trying to go to Albuquerque kind of shit, know it's the Knicks. And understand how these things can happen. So, that's like I did so I'm watching this review for the UFC and I'm realizing like again. Right? All of these sports entities, they have it wrong. And the UFC just came out there and they showed it. Because I didn't know they could apply it this way, and they had it right. And before I go back and talk into my UFC talk and talk about this match with Colby Covington, let me go ahead and do another public service announcement, right? Right at the 1 minute and 12, right 1 hour 12 minute mark. To the NBA and to the NFL, very specifically, right? To basketball and to football. The way that you guys have been doing your reviews are completely wrong, and they're not beneficial to you enough, the league. So here I am giving you free game on how to better your reviews and your replay scenarios. All right? Let's talk about the number one thing that needs to be protected here. And that is the integrity of the game. And by protecting your referees, you get to protect the integrity of the game, folks. Right? New York Knicks are currently up by 30 and... Nope, sorry, that's not 30. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. 28. You want to protect the integrity of the game. I'm not going to break again. And by protecting your referees, you protect the integrity of the game. How do you protect the referees? By giving them an out. Referees don't like to change their determination too often. We've seen this a lot of times in the past. They have egos as well. So you give them an out. That's how you protect them. But there's only one true way to give them an out. You have to put a time limit on how long you can review a play for. We just saw the UFC do it in a minute because they have a break between rounds. Well, NBA, NFL, you have a play clock. The players have to get off a play in a play clock. Well, the referees should also have to get off their determinations within that same time of a play clock, a full play clock. So for the NFL, I think that's 35 seconds, 40 seconds, something like that. For the NBA, that's 24. Or if you really want to, make it, remember in the NBA used to have full timeouts and 20-second time. Make it a 20-second, but even that's less. So give them 24 seconds, right? So now when they really don't want to overturn it, now the way that they can protect themselves by protecting themselves, right? They protect the integrity of the game. They are allowed to say, based off the time allotted, we did not see enough evidence to do whatever, overturn the play. And the key words there is based off the time allotted. Because they only had 35 seconds if they're in the NFL. It shouldn't be taking them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. 24 seconds of the NBA. A lot of that stuff is already chopped up, and you have great film people, you have great production people. These guys are experts, they're pros, and they get you stuff immediately. They can get you that as quickly as you need to. For them to see exactly what needs to be seen. But the true beneficial part to you guys, NBA and NFL, to the leagues, is not that you now protect your referees, which now keeps and stays in line with and protects the integrity of the game. The part that really benefits you is the monetary value. Every time one of those reviews happen, what you need to do next is go into a picture-in-picture commercial. Don't break to a full commercial. Have a nice little picture-in-picture commercial. That's another slot. That's another advertisement time that you can sell. And we know how you guys work. I don't have to say it. But then, I'm pretty sure you'll probably start encouraging your teams and your coaches to challenge. And you may even, and by then, you'll probably even change, like, you know what? If you get a challenge right, you get to keep your challenges. Because now you only have a short amount of time. But now you also realize, hey, you know what? What if we need to make an extra $5 million this game? Extra $25 million this game. Let's have 5 challenges ran. I'm not saying that you guys are going to do that, but you see all the money potential that there is there. What if you allow a challenge every quarter now? And you get to keep the challenge. You understand? And you only get to keep one challenge after that. You see how you can open it up so that you can monetarily benefit from this? 3 stages. They need a shot clock. Right? Second part, put you in picture commercials. And then the third one is the one that saves the referees. Based on the time allowed, we do not see enough time to overturn the call. You implement those 3 things, you would have solved all of your replay and review issues. You are welcome. Because there's no way that we should be watching the UFC, right? Apply a whole entire eye poke warning, right? And in less than a minute in between rounds. And now did he see it? He also had time to even tell him that, hey, yo, you fucked up. That's gonna be your ass if you do it again. That shit ran way too smoothly for everybody else to be looking at their formula or their method of replay review. Remember, we watched a box. I forget. I think it was during the pandemic. There was a boxing match that we watched. I said during the pandemic, but you know what I mean. During more stricter restrictions of the pandemic, right? I remember there was a boxing match where the review of what happened took longer than the match itself. We had like a 30-minute review for a 10-minute match. I couldn't even tell you what the hell they were looking for. So you can save yourself embarrassments like that and the continued embarrassments that you've had almost since you've had this replay review, and the way that you've mismanaged it throughout the years. New York Knicks are up by 21 points now. And the Dallas Mavericks are starting to surge a little bit. Now, with this Kobe Covington match, right? They talked about how there was a bunch of bad blood and how these guys were friends and everything and things of that nature. And I felt like I saw it a little bit, right? I felt like I felt like early on, because Masvidal really wanted to fuck him up in a way, right? And now I see Dallas shooting a technical shot for some reason, and they missed it. Good ball, don't lie. I don't know who just got a technical. R.J. Barrett got a technical foul. So R.J. Barrett's having a monster game, and the person that missed the foul was the former Nick. Damn it, I'm forgetting his name. But I was just glad to see him finally get an opportunity over these last couple years, because he's been in the Knicks farm system for a while now. Reggie Bullock. He was in the Knicks farm system for a while, and then him finally getting an opportunity to actually show that he can actually be of usage, even if it is just as a 3-and-D guy. You know, like it's good to see him in the league. And you see R.J. Barrett now with Jalen Brunson on him. Takes down the low block. He gets double teamed to kick it off to Julius Randall over there on the left wing. Julius Randall dribble, spin move, kicks it out to Evan Fournier. He pump fakes, sidesteps, 3-point shot. We get a miss. Julius Randall tries to tip in the ball. They miss that. And then when we have the ball going the other way, it scores 72-51, New York Knicks. And then now we see the ball in Luka's hand as he resets the offense. We have 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. He steps up. Reggie Bullock takes a corner three, and that rims out as well. Ball don't lie twice. They don't like you. So, this Kofi Covington match, right? I see R.J. Barrett with a nice, strong drive to the lane. Did not get a foul or anything called. He takes a nice little look at the ref. Let's just go ahead and calm down, RJ, because what you don't want is another technical, and it looks like there may be a foul that's going to be called on Alex Burke for how he went over and through and around the screen. We're going to see who they call this one on. This could go either way, but we're going to see. It looks like it's probably going to be against Alex Burke. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be against Alex Burke. Kofi Covington in that very first round, right? Kofi Covington, early on, he got ground control and dominated top position, right? Now, there was an eye poke that Kofi Covington did to Masvidal, right? And this is where I think that all of that anger and built up animosity and built up frustration got to Masvidal, right? Not only did I see him kind of hesitant, right? But and it's weird how you wanted to fuck somebody up makes you a little bit hesitant. But not even so much hesitant, but put him out of character. He caught a nut check, right? Man, no, or was it an eye poke? No. I'm not confusing them. It was a nut check, right? He caught a nut check, right? Because the eye poke happened in the first round, right? And the referee didn't see the eye poke. And even though Masvidal, he got a couple of leg kicks in there, he actually started off with some early leg kicks. And with the looks of the early leg kick, you can see that it hurt him. But yet Masvidal didn't follow up. And these are the little things that being a little too anxious and really trying to fuck somebody up is making you not think straight. Because what he should have done is gone straight back to the legs. You see Kofi Covington now, did he not like it? And you see him, and it looked like he made his knee buckle. And it weakened that leg early on and easily. But he should have been slowly just tapping it through the whole entire night. But I understand that you're finding a wrestler and you're thinking that, oh, he's got to possibly shoot on you. But until that, aim for it. But Kofi, he got dominant top position, right? He looked to do damage from up top. You see him even get mount control or full mount at one point in time, I think in the first quarter or in the first round. He's saying first quarter. First round. New York Knicks still up by 21 halfway through the third quarter. Now, it was after the first round that the referee went and gave him the warning. It was in between that first and second round that he gave him that warning about the eye poke. Then in the second round, Kofi Covington hits him with a low blow. And this is again when I'm like, okay, Masvidal, you are now two rounds in a row being unconventional, because you know what? No lie, he probably should have waited and allowed more time after that low blow. But that anger, that you can see that anger and then that eagerness, I guess to say, that anger brought, right? Or brought up that eagerness just to want to fuck him up or just to get his hands on him. I think he came back from the low blow too early. And they came back too early, and they both came out swinging. But Masvidal more than anything, right? Really, they both came out swinging, and there was a nice exchange, right? You see them both off balance, and the more off balance that Kobe Covington was the better of the exchange that Masvidal will get, and that's kind of happens to everybody. Like, yo, you get somebody off balance, you're probably gonna start winning some of that exchange, unless that person just happens to be some elite weird slugger like Mayorka from back in the day. Now, round one completely gave to Kobe Covington. Right? Round two was it was a Kobe Covington sandwich in a sense, right? Where it seemed like it was Covington, then it was Masvidal for, actually, it was the low blow in the first minute, and then for 3 minutes it was Masvidal winning on the stand up, and in the last minute Covington takes him down. Right? Like Masvidal, he starts overreaching, gets a little bit overzealous, and Covington basically almost takes his back. Right? But the round ends, and I don't know, something is going on. They're trying to say somebody tipped it, that the ball should be going the other way. Oh, he's saying that he hung onto the rim too much. Or they're calling it offensive interference. New York Knicks, right? So they just took a point away from the Dallas Mavericks. Right? It was supposed to be 59-74, with the New York Knicks now only up by 15 points, but they're up by 17 points right now, as New York Knicks haven't been able to produce much since the half. Let's see, since the half, the New York Knicks have scored 13 points, while the Dallas Mavericks have put up almost 20. So they're being outscored just about 20-13 right now. All right, and you see Luka Doncic with a step back, long range three. He hits that. New York Knicks now only hold a 14-point lead. We see a timeout. Or we get a timeout. Luka Doncic looks exhausted. I ain't gonna lie. But he went left, came back between the legs. Pulled a step back, and no, there's no Obi Toppin today. You see him on the bench right now, in street clothes. I am hungry. Speaking of street clothes, I should fucking play the food right here in front of you guys. But don't worry, like I said, we finished the podcast on time today because I still have a little mini research project to do, and I didn't think it was gonna be this extensive. I had a lot of stuff that I saw interested, I wanted to read up on before I responded to a potential new employer. Yeah, so I'm gonna allow somebody to rent my time for a while. I got some things I'm trying to take care of. Now, in the third round, Kobe Covington looked like he was trying to take care of Masvidal, to be honest with you, right? In that third round, he came out and he early on got full mount. Kobe Covington did. He got full mount on Masvidal. And Covington dominated. Kobe dominated. Got full mount, got side mount. It was more domination, more strikes, right? And he completely dominated. You saw the transitions from the back as they had miniature sprawls, and once he got him down in the third round, it was just kind of over. You kind of felt like, okay, this, like, he may be sucking the air out of this one. But at the end of that round, you see there was a quick stand up. Well, I'm sorry, I'm watching Dallas Mavericks fans dance all over his own. What the fuck is going on? This is that timeout and they're heating up. Right? But you'd see, sorry, right? They'll get a late stand up, and you'll see a late exchange or a late flurry where Masvidal will get the better of that exchange, but it still wasn't enough to give him that round. At this point in time, we're talking about this match is 2-1. 2 rounds to 1 in the eye of Covington. Colby Covington. Right? Then we get to the 4th round where Colby Covington tagged Masvidal for basically 3 minutes. Just tagged him. Jab, jab, jab. You know, blows here, blows there, blows to the body, everywhere. And then, after tagging him for about 3 minutes straight, Covington got hurt. He got clipped. Like, we're talking about straight hook, slow motion, jaw doing the crackhead shit. Right? And what happened was, and granted, for like I said, even though Colby Covington is tagging him for 3 minutes, it's more of an exchange for 3 minutes, right? But Colby Covington is getting the best of it, completely dominating him in the stand-up now, which should be the area that Masvidal is dominating at. So that's also part of like when you're beating a man in his own game and slowly taking that will away from him. But Masvidal clipped him and caught him good with a clip, rocked his jaw, right? And again, Masvidal just out of what? The fuck is Julius Randall doing? Did he get fouled? Oh, Julius Randall is complaining. Was that a turnover? Okay, bump. Oh, off the. Okay, so they did call a foul before the shot. Julius Randall goes in like a little bull in a china shop again. He gets himself a nice little bucket after being upset, but getting the call that he wanted to. And after being upset, he goes hard to the basket. 78-60. The New York Knicks up by 18 now. You see Duke's now over here on Luka as he's the man tracking the inbounder, harassing Luka, putting some pressure on him, staying his feet. Keep staying in front of him, keeping his hands down, staying low. He gets around the screen, stays with him again, stays on the side. They kick the ball, they switch the ball. And the New York Knicks just didn't complete the rotation. That is on Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is glued to the paint. So when that ball goes swinging, right, because individuals are switching, Mitchell Robinson instead of going and guarding the man that's in the corner, he is still sticking in the paint and know that, and he needs to go to the corner so there could be one more rotation into the paint. Mitchell Robinson gets a nice little rebound, goes up to Emmanuel quickly. He pump fakes. He should have shot that, to be honest with you. He takes his man off the dribble, goes behind the back, goes back again, a little hesitation, goes up on him, and he gets the basket with a little floater. It looks like he drew the foul as well, and won. New York Knicks 80-63. Emmanuel quickly going to the line to complete the and one, folks. Now, it was in the fourth round where things were really completed, right? Because when Masvidal didn't take advantage, again, I'm saying to myself, whatever the fuck is going on with you, Masvidal, whatever fury or rage that you just want to fuck this guy up, you're not thinking straight. And when he's hurt and you see him wobbling in front of you, he is blind. I don't know if he was out on his feet anyway at that point in time. And so when he hit him, it was just out of natural instinct, and he just couldn't get his body to move the way he wanted it to. He's like, nah, get him now. But he's like, oh no, shit. If I go rushing in, he's gonna catch me again. Nah, dude was wide the fuck open. He was a sitting duck at that time. And the fact that Masvidal didn't take advantage of that particular moment, that basically gave that round to Colby Covington and may have closed the door on all hopes that Masvidal would have had outside of knocking Colby out. And that would have been the opportunity to knock Colby out. And if you didn't do it when the opportunity was wide open, who knew when he was going to? Because you caught him flush. And he didn't go down. Or he didn't stay down. He basically dropped to a knee, and then he jumped back up, and he was just standing there in front of your face like, oh my God, if this dude rushes me and catches me with 5 good hits, I may lose this. But no, you allowed him to recover. Then in the 5th round, there was an early takedown by Covington. He controlled it, and then that really was it. He took him down early, and that was it. Like, you knew it was a wrap. He controlled them. He controlled them late in. He controlled them the whole entire round. Kept them on the mat. Didn't allow him to do anything. And then you kept on seeing, like, as the round kept on getting later and later. You seen him really trying to position himself to get to a point where he could start swinging on him, and that's what he did. Right when the round was just about over, and the match is all the way over, you see him raining down low blows. Not low blows, but you seen him raining down blows. And after the bell goes, you know that he could have been stopped himself. He makes sure he gets in 3-4 extra licks after that, which obviously set Covington off. Covington wanted to go after him. He's saying, "Yo, fuck you." You know, I mean, not Covington, but it set Masvidal off. Masvidal's over there talking about "fuck you." Covington's over here like, "Whatever, suck my dick, bitch." You know what I mean? And that is it, folks. Even in my eyes, I'm talking 4 rounds to 1. Covington beat that ass. One judge had this fight 49-46. That's kind of on par with how I had it. Another judge had it 50-45. Right? That was a little shocking. I'm not gonna lie. That was a little shocking. I'm like, damn, you didn't give him 1 round? The real shocking one was the 50-44. Not only did somebody say, "Yo, you didn't get a round," but you grossly lost one of these rounds. Like, bad, where we thought, like, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. He won't make it. Like, it was that kind of shit. Ooh, I forgot about that. I forgot about this little topic I had over here brewing. Right, but I'm gonna move on from the UFC, right? I'm gonna move on that UFC 272. As we all know that he's probably gonna end up trying to take on Adesanya again as he continues to work his way up into those ranks. Now, the other surprising thing as we continue to talk combat sport just a little bit, and we move on from UFC to boxing, where we kind of merge the two. I heard that Kamaru Usman is looking to take on, God damn it, the Mexican champ, Caesar. Damn it. Fuck. How the fuck I forget his name? Damn it. I hate when that happens. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Where his only loss is to Floyd Mayweather, and that's because he fought Mayweather. Canelo Alvarez. That's only because he fought Mayweather when he was super young. Listen, I know I'm not the only person that thinks that. I know I'm really not the only person that thinks that. I'm just putting that out in the ethernet for you guys. And I'm going to give you a score update in just a little bit to see how much of this lead the New York Knicks have managed to squander. There's a lot of shit going on. God damn, there's a lot of shit going on. How much time we got left here in the podcast? Just about a good 40 minutes. That should be enough time to cover these next 2 topics, right? And let me make sure that I get a couple of things written down. Because I don't want to miss out on a topic that I had written already from last week, right? This podcast that I didn't get a chance to talk. Not last week's podcast, but for Monday's podcast, I didn't get a chance to talk about. And what the hell is going on? Why does Dallas have a set of overweight men with their stomachs hanging out, like doing sexy dances for the halftime show? I know you want to probably show that Big Ben can move too, but can we cover up the bellies? Like, why are they all wearing belly shirts? I'm just saying, that shit looks fugazi. Kind of looks fukakta. I'm just saying. I don't like it. So, we're gonna go ahead, right, and switch sites for a second, right? And we're gonna move on from the UFC, and we're gonna get into a lot that's been happening with football over the last couple of days. Cause I know that's what you guys really want to hear me talk about today, right? I know you guys didn't come here for me to talk about Knicks, and I know you guys don't give a fuck about WWE Hall of Fame or what's going on with the UFC. Like, all the craze and all the buzz right now is what's happening with the NFL. And all of these quarterbacks Okay. And all of these quarterbacks that are on the move, right? The New York Knicks currently hold an 18-point lead. So let's go ahead and get that jotted down as well. I'm telling you, right now, I am tracking this shit like it's a motherfucking hurricane. 11:30 to go. It's an 18-point lead. I was going to get that score down in a second. 83 to 65. And now we got Mitchell Robinson on the free throw line, and we know he's a fucking ball don't lie waiting to happen. Look at Boban. Mitchell Robinson shoots, and he scores. New York Knicks have a 19-point lead. I said with 11. Okay, let's make sure we switch it over to 19. This was an 11. It was 11:40 left to go. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and switch sites, right? Let's go ahead and switch drop zones real quick. And let's go ahead and switch it over to basketball. I'm not going to switch basketball, switch it over to football. Because this is where all the action has been happening as of lately, right? Right? This is where all the action has been happening lately. Like, this is where we get the...
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
I will go to Andy up. You'll get your Barbie chain gap.
Right? So, let's go ahead and talk about this NFL, right? And it was crazy. Right, how coming into this week, it was the crazy combine numbers, right? It was the crazy combine numbers. And what the combine numbers made me realize is just how much bigger, faster, and stronger now that these athletes coming into the league are. Where these 40 times are ridiculous. What do you mean? I mean ridiculous. Like, these 40 times are insane. And if you didn't catch Monday's podcast, like, I'll give you a brief. Like, I thought when I saw these wide receivers numbers, I'm like, damn. Like, number one, if I'm Oakland Raiders, I'm trying to get me one of these wide receivers just for GP. Like, I'm trying to keep my daddy's legacy. And we don't know how he feels about his daddy's legacy. So I'm trying to get one of these fast-ass wide receivers. But I'm just thinking, like, damn, all of these wide receivers available. Because I was thinking to myself, like, Amari Cooper's available. You can go out and get Amari Cooper if you're one of these teams, right? If you're the Jets, if you're the Giants, you're trying to answer questions. I see. Is that CC Sabathia I just seen in the ring? I mean, not in the ring. We're in the crowd. So I'm like, okay, if you're one of these young teams, right, that has a young quarterback, you're trying to get some answers done. You can utilize Amari Cooper the same way the Dallas Cowboys utilized him for Dak Prescott. And that's trying to see if, hey, by giving my quarterback a reliable target, if I can figure out more about what he is. The only thing what worries me about even that method of thinking, even as I had it, was how far along or removed is Amari Cooper from the guy that just first got to Dallas versus the guy that's now leaving Dallas. Like, who would really want him? Like, there's a reason why Dallas is getting rid of him. It's because they probably see the same thing too. Like, ooh, there is some heat coming out. And if we already have a decent number one or something of that nature, then maybe just maybe we don't need to keep a guy that's going to cost us a bunch of money. Maybe we could get one of these young guys and plug him in and start developing another batch of young wide receivers. But like I said, my first thought was just like, you know what? These guys are going to be ridiculous. And they may be a group of guys that may help break this league wide the fuck open. And listen, I'm still going to try to get some of these guys. But a lot of my thoughts changed about how impressive they were and the kind of impact that they may have. That all changed when I started seeing some of these DBs, right? And these cornerbacks. Well, some of these cornerbacks, I should say. right, come in and put up similar numbers. I was like, oh, damn. Well, I see you got all that speed, but if the crop of cornerbacks coming in has similar speed, then where the fuck are you going? And that's when that first light bulb went off. Like, damn, how fast are these new crop of athletes? Then we saw the defensive backs come out and start putting up record-breaking speeds. We seen linemen come out and put up 4.5 speed, and we're like, what? That just made me realize how big, fast, and strong these new athletes are. And I quickly realized it don't matter. It really don't matter that these wide receivers are now coming with what, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5 speed. Like, listen, you're not breaking away from some of these new guys anymore. You understand? Like, if they see you, you're officially in the
Danger zone.
So what ended up happening, I just became more impressed about these new wave of athletes. And now I'm just looking at, like, you know what? Jets and Giants, both of you individuals have 2 picks within the top 10. Don't squander it. Now, one thing neither one of you guys should be doing, that's taking a running back in the first round. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. But edge rusher and a wide receiver in the first round, a center, let's see, you don't have Jalen Brunson's numbers up right now. Let's see, they see Jalen Brunson as they get him for, they caught him for an elbow in the back. Like, he's lucky. He just hit Alex Burke with that. See, I'm telling you. Like, again, they need to go back and they need to get. See, this is when you have to have a little bit of nasty to you. You have to have a little bit of vindictiveness to you. And I don't want them going. I don't want them like trying to do anything dirty to Jalen Brunson. But what they need to start doing is targeting him. Run pick and rolls so that whoever has the ball in their hand, they end up with him on them. And then just target the fuck out of him. Don't give him a break on defense. Just keep going after him and going after him and going after him and going after him. Whatever you do, do not allow him to rest. That's how I honestly feel. I'm sorry, I was watching the Edge come down to the ring as my Knicks game was pausing. I'm gonna have to watch this whole entire wrestling thing all over again. I have to see what the fuck is going on. I feel like he has the Brood music going on. Wait, yep, that's definitely him. So I was impressed by that alone. I was like, those combine numbers were ridiculous, and it had the whole. And when you get a combine like that with that kind of speed, right? It creates a buzz. Like, believe it or not, it creates a buzz for the off season, and it started off with it gave the NFL offseason, it gave the start of the NFL offseason a nice buzz. There was a nice excitement. We saw this and it was like, damn. Now people start looking, okay, who are some of these fast guys? What are their names? Where are they now? Where are these guys now talked about as possibly going in the mock draft? Where's my team at? Can my team get some of this nice, young, hot, fast talent? The buzz was palpable. And yet, what was yet to come, even though we warned you, if you've been listening to this podcast, you guys know, we warned you. We warned you. For months we warned you, right? We warned you halfway through the football season. Like, hey, yo, just think about this. Remember we played that game? How many quarterbacks are going to be on their team in the next 5 years? Right? Because this year alone, we were already assuming, okay, Tom Brady may be gone. We already thought Big Ben Roethlisberger is probably going to be gone. And then we started looking at all of the vacancies outside of those 2 spots. And then we started looking, hey, who may want to take those 2 spots from those guys? And the two individuals that made the headlines over the last 2 days. These are probably the 2 names that we thought was going to fill Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay in a weird way. Or one of those 2. Neither one of those spots got filled. Instead, Aaron Rodgers, just one Aaron Rodgers, right? The same way that Aaron Rodgers said to the Chicago fans, the Green Bay Packers fans, because they own the Green Bay Packers, they said to Aaron Rodgers, I still own you. To the heights of $50 million a year. Yes, folks, from the initial reports are saying that Aaron Rodgers is signing an extension with the Green Bay Packers for 4 years, $200 million. That is $50 million a year. And you know what? I don't think anybody has a problem with that. You're basically saying, oh, you're getting paid as much as Patrick Mahomes. Well, you should. You should be respected as much. But you also need to start winning again. And granted, he's had 2 incredible back-to-back seasons, right? 2 back-to-back MVP seasons. 2 back-to-back Hail Mary throws. What he hasn't have 2 of is rings. And he's still going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. But we want, us as a fan base, we want that other ring. Like, sir, get me that ring. But it's already on somebody's head. I said, get me that ring. So Aaron Rodgers, he's back in Green Bay. But he's going to have to win over these next 4 years. Him just getting here, and I understand putting up incredible numbers and having incredible feats. It's okay for the Green Bay Packer organization. But for the legacy, for the rest of our sports consumption, like to feed our insatiable appetite for greatness, we really do want one more ring from Aaron Rodgers. They've franchise tag Devontae Adams, so at least they're gonna keep that that option there for him. Now, the thing about it now is that not only does Aaron Rodgers have to win, but by him taking $50 million a year, he may have handcuffed his own team from improving his roster. Which means now that they've given you everything that you've wanted, right? They got you your guy last year. They got you a couple of your guys last year, right? They gave you the contract that you wanted. They brought in one of your high school coaches or whatever. They may not have enough money to build that roster around you, but you know what? It don't matter. They gave you what you wanted. Now you need to produce with what you got. So that was the real big news, right? That popped. Like monetarily, all right, from a monetary standpoint, because there was a big elephant in the room trying to figure out what the hell Aaron Rodgers was going to do this whole entire time. The move of the evening was Carson Wentz. As he goes and he becomes the quarterback for the Wackos. Yeah, folks. He becomes the quarterback. RJ Barrett with another drop and a foul. 92-71, New York Knicks. 5 minutes, 38 seconds left to go. Keeping an eye on this game. Listen, I'm not comfortable yet. There's 5 minutes to go, and it's only a 21-point lead. I am not comfortable yet as a Knicks fan. But my attitude hasn't changed as of yet. We got about 25 minutes left into the podcast. There's 5 minutes left into the game. 6 minutes left into the game. We gonna see if this demeanor of mine takes a massive shift or not. So Aaron Rodgers, he re-signs with the Green Bay Packers. Carson Wentz gets shipped over to the Wackos. And if you haven't and by now you should figure out who the Wackos are. It is the Washington Commanders. Yeah, the goddamn commie. Nah, I can't say that. Forgot that had a different connotation back when it used to be seen, and I don't know how that's played out to these days. But Carson Wentz goes to the Wackos, and if I'm a Washington fan, you're telling me 2 years ago we had one of the best defenses, we made a run into the playoffs, and we thought that we could do damage again, and we signed Ryan Fitzpatrick to really help improve this team. Ryan Fitzpatrick gets himself hurt week 1. Never really see him again. And now, to keep moving up the ladder, you get Carson Wentz. Oh my God. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. The Giant fan in me, right, is looking at this like, yo, you can't. If you're a Giants fan, if you're a Cowboys fan, and if you're a Philly fan, you're looking at Washington like, oh, thank you. Hey, thank you. You just eliminated yourself from contention. Thank you, B. That's just one less product we have to worry about. Like, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Washington, the nation's capital, where the government is at. Always giving back to the people. Fucking wackos. New York Knicks up by 24 points with under 5 minutes left to go. 95-71 Knicks. I'm telling you, folks, if my attitude really can't change. I'm telling you this right now. My attitude really can't change. I really do not want. I can't have it happen. But I'm at the point now where I can't watch Knicks games in peace anymore. It's like watching It's like watching the Super Bowl with Tom Brady in it. Like, I don't care how much you're up by. You know this lead don't mean shit. And that's the most respect I can give Tom Brady, because at the end of the day, I think that you guys still know exactly how I feel about Tom Brady. But not just how I feel about Tom Brady, but how most people that...
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
So Aaron Rodgers stays with Green Bay for $200 million. Carson Wentz goes to the Wackos, and I didn't even look to see what the fuck he got sent over there for, because it really didn't matter. It didn't move enough of my needle. Pause. I wonder if that's what the intentions of move the needle means. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. Knicks up by 25 points. I think you already said that, right? 96-71? No, 95-71. You give him an extra point, you must have been a free throw. The next move will be a team to the D-Bros, right? From the Wackos to the D-Bros. And I just want Russell Wilson. As we hear that Russell Wilson goes to the Denver Broncos for what is potentially 9 players between draft picks and actual people. Yeah, this is a 9-player trade, or 9 potential players traded for Russell Wilson to go to the Denver Broncos, to leave Seattle, who now Seattle gets an opportunity to go ahead and rebuild. I think they get 2 1s and 2 2s like this year. Or they have now 2 1s and 2 2s now this year. Jamal Adams, obviously, who knows what they're going to do with him. Jamal Adams got his money, and who knows if he's going to stay there as part of this retooling, rebuilding, or if they're going to try to find somewhere to send him off pretty soon. And just kind of like scrub and watch and take this shit all over. For Russell Wilson, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know who Julius Randall is cussing out, but he needs to stop talking shit. He ain't allowed to talk shit. New York Knicks up 99-71. I'm hoping that the Dallas Mavericks don't get any free tacos tonight. We get Russell Wilson going over to the Denver Broncos. And this didn't initially move me. As much like the transaction, man, I was like, oh, damn. Russ got traded. Then I heard he got traded to the Denver Broncos. And I get it. Denver Broncos probably are one of the more talented teams out there as well. Running back, wide receiver. We're talking about top 3 defense as well, right? And we know how well Russell Wilson won the last time. He had one decent wide receiver, a running game, and a top 3 defense. What's going on, Poe? I see you coming back. Thank you for coming back. I see Mark still kind of here somehow. Now, the thing about this is that I guess this is going to be the test, right? I don't know if this makes the Denver Broncos an automatic Super Bowl champion. Like when when the LA Rams got Matthew Stafford, we thought championship favorite. I didn't have that same thought initially when Russell Wilson went to Denver. But now this is when the sweet shit happens, right? Before we even talk about about Russ. But this is where the sweet shit happens at. Because now we get to see if what happened when Tom Brady went to Tampa and when Matthew Stafford went to the Rams happens for the Denver Broncos. Now that Russ is there, are we going to start getting an influx of players that are going to come and play with Russ in Denver? People come and take pay cuts to come and play in Denver, Colorado, where you can smoke weed freely. I think they don't have a state tax. And you can smoke weed freely. And you have snow bunnies in the Alps. And you can smoke weed freely. Right? So, that's now the next intriguing thing about this move that I have. That I'm going to be watching for. It's not even so much about Russ initially. It's who's going to want to now come and play with Russ. Now that he's in Denver. Now that he's on a team where it looks like maybe if we get now 1 or 2 more pieces in a key spot, maybe one more extra person in the defense, maybe another offensive weapon, maybe another running back, because isn't that what Tom Brady got? Right? A Hall of Fame, he got himself a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He added a Hall of Fame tight end. He added a running back onto that team, and also some defensive players, right? Some great defensive players, future Hall of Fame defensive players, right? So if that happens for Russ as well, like are we going to start seeing that happen for Russ as well? That's going to be what I'm intrigued about, is the players are going to want to run to Denver now. Because when it was LA, that's also different, right? It's LA. See, one was Tom Brady had Florida and himself, right? He had Tom Brady and Florida weather to attract people to Florida. Matthew Stafford had his name and LA and the weather of LA to attract people to the Rams. What does Russ have in Denver? Because he doesn't have that weather. But they do have some beautiful snow. They have the Alps. And they have free marijuana. Or legal marijuana. So, sometimes this is where like maybe future business ventures may start. And we all know that, with John Elway and all of them, right? That maybe they do what Denver has been doing for years. Is that, hey, you come over here, you win for us. Maybe we give you a percentage of this team. Aren't the Denver Broncos lined up to be sold really soon? So also getting Russell Wilson is also a good power move. Now you have a Super Bowl future Hall of Fame quarterback now leading your franchise. I think that should make your franchise a little bit more valuable, right? So I'm interested now if Russell Wilson is going to get that same kind of treatment that those other guys got with a little bit more places with better weather. Because initially I'm not quite sure if this fully makes them a Super Bowl contender or a championship contender. Playoffs, yeah, we get that. I'm going to have to see how this continue to plays out. We're going to see who gets added to this team. And as we all know, folks, one person that will not be playing for any team whatsoever, that is one Calvin Ridley, folks, that we see in Vader, folks. And we talked about his whole... I'll tell you, Vader was a whole goddamn cult classic. I forgot he was in Boy Meets World. Telling you, man, Vader. Like, he's through the little Yeah, that's actually good to see Vader popping up. It's Vader time. I remember wanting one of those Vader masks. And I realized, like, I couldn't remember if I liked him better with the mask or without the mask. I think when he got to WWE, he lost the mask at some point in time. Now we don't have that kind of wraps us up for the NFL, right? Like I said, we have the NFL draft coming up pretty soon at the end of this month, right? And as we see free agency, with free agency we see a lot of moves starting to happen. We seeing teams starting to change. New York Knicks are up by 30 right now. Just about a minute. It's about 2 minutes left to go. I'm trying to wonder if 105 to 75. Damn. They started off this quarter with 65 points. Dallas Mavericks did. They've only scored 10 points this whole entire quarter, damn near. As the New York Knicks have put up about 22 points this quarter. That's a nice little turnaround after getting completely run out of the building in the third quarter. And like I said, it was just lucky for the Knicks that they had such a humongous lead in the third quarter that Dallas Mavericks couldn't complete the comeback. What's going on, Ronnie? See you popping in here. All right, but let's go ahead and change sites again, right? Let's gonna move on from football and let's move over to the NFL just a little bit, right? To the NBA just a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and end out the night talking about the association. Because just as there are moves happening in the NFL, and we're seeing NFL teams, woo! We see the manual quickly with the alley-oop to Jericho Sims to give the Knicks a 32-point lead with just about a minute and 9 seconds left. And I can honestly say now, as a Knicks fan, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, I think I can finally chalk this up as a victory, and I can honestly celebrate this Knicks win. I haven't even been drinking. I told you guys I haven't been drinking because we ended in time and I got some stuff to do. So, New York Knicks going to complete this victory. They're going to win 3 straight. And after this, they're going to continue their road trip. They're going to continue their 7-game road trip. And they're going to be playing the Memphis Grizzlies after this, folks. Let's hope that's on Friday so that we can be talking about this while we're on the air as well. Now, let's get into the association just a bit. Because, like I said, just like how the NFL is making moves, there are still moves to be made in the NBA. But not this season. Mainly off season. But there are players that are making moves this season that are affecting their team this season. And they're not being traded or anything like that. They're just not playing. And one of them is LeBron James. As LeBron James is sitting out again with knee soreness. And I'm going to tell you guys, knee soreness is never just knee soreness. Knee soreness is usually cartilage, is usually loss of cartilage and cartilage on cartilage starting to happen. Like, take it from how long has this been just about now? He played tonight? I don't know. Did he? I know the other games that they said that LeBron James was out and he wasn't quite sure how long he was gonna be out for, and it made me start to wonder, like, is LeBron James starting to shut shit down? But it looks like he played tonight. But I'm telling you, you guys don't realize it. LeBron James is officially injury prone, and he's officially old. Knee soreness ain't knee soreness. Like what they call as general knee soreness and having to sit down for, that ain't knee soreness. That's cartilage on cartilage. Like, you understand? That's... Okay, yes, he did play. So LeBron James isn't sitting out for long. And you know what? I'm glad he's playing. Because when I heard LeBron James was going to be sitting out, and he talked about he was going to possibly be sitting out the remainder of the season due to knee soreness, or out indefinitely due to knee soreness, and I guess that just meant that they didn't have a timeline for it. I honestly thought LeBron James was shutting it down for the remainder of the season. I was about to come on here and say that LeBron James quit on his team. I'm glad that he realized... when the Rockets got them in overtime. And that's the thing about the Lakers. Like, if you're going to be losing to the Rockets like that, right? Should LeBron James shut it down? Like, should LeBron James go ahead and take off the rest of the season and be like, yo, like, or just not play until the postseason and see what the hell happens then? But if he does that, like, how are they gonna be, like, if they shut down to the postseason, they may not make it into the postseason, and that's the part that really sucks for the Lakers, right? Even the Brooklyn Nets, which those two teams keep surprising me every goddamn day, that they can be so low in the rankings, right? Or so low in the standings with the amount of talent that both of these teams have. I don't know, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're hanging on there. You said what? Their Lakers are ninth? Right? The Lakers are ninth. And LeBron James is playing and they're losing to the Rockets. Imagine if he doesn't play. If he don't play, they don't make it. I said the Brooklyn Nets, they got KD back right on time. They're in that same exact boat. Because if KD didn't come back and play, you understand the kind of losing streak that the Brooklyn Nets were on? Even with Kyrie? Because Kyrie, as a standalone leader of any team, has never been a winner. Never, ever. Kyrie Irving, as the only guy on his team, as the number one guy on his team, has a losing record. He is basura. So they got Kevin Durant back just in time. They got Kevin Durant back right at the perfect time, because the Brooklyn Nets were on a downward spiral just as well. Even though they're in the 8th spot, they're on a downward spiral just as bad. The only thing about them is that I don't think Washington's going to catch them. So I don't think the Brooklyn Nets can fall below the 10th spot. But can you imagine the Brooklyn Nets in the 10th spot being passed up by Charlotte and the Atlanta Hawks? And then what if, like I said, even though I said I don't see Washington making up any ground, New York Knicks have just won their 3rd straight game. And that puts them just about 3.5 games, or 3.5 to 4 games, somewhere between 3 to 4 games out of the play-in tournament with decent time left. And they have teams like Atlanta and Charlotte ahead of them, which It's so weird, right? Last year, we had teams like Charlotte and Atlanta ahead of, like, barely ahead of us or ahead of us, right? And when it was when it was last year this time, we were talking about the 4, 5, and 6 seeds. This year we're talking about the Knicks trying to catch Charlotte and Atlanta, and the Knicks the 12th seed, Charlotte the 9th seed, and the Hornets and the Hawks the 10th seed. See how fast what a difference a year makes. So we got Brooklyn in the 8th seed with a 33-33 record, and then we have the Los Angeles Lakers with a record of 28-36. I keep telling Knicks fans, right? I keep telling you Knicks fans, anytime that you feel bad about your season, just know that you have a record of 27-38. And a team that has LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook on it, and Dwight Howard on it, you are a half a game behind. They have one more win than you. I'm just saying. And you don't have anybody on. Listen, the closest person that you have on your team to LeBron James is Julius Randle. Now think about how far apart Julius Randle and LeBron James is. And Melo. Just think how far from Dwight Howard in his heyday Julius Randle is. You understand? Dwight Howard would have ate Julius Randle up for lunch in his heyday. If he would have played against Julius Randle back in his day, he would have put up 36 and 20 on him with 5 blocks. Like, I don't think you guys understand the kind of beast that Dwight Howard used to be. So, anytime you feel bad, Knicks fans, just know that the LA Lakers have one more win than you. But their one more win, or them having 28 wins because of how shitty the West is, as it seems that LeBron James always manages to go to the weaker conference, right? That the Lakers are in the 9th spot. And they're not even a 500 team. They're passed up by the Clippers. The Clippers. We're not even thinking about the Clippers. Think about that. The Clippers don't have Kawhi Leonard. We don't even think about the Clippers. And the Clippers are doing better than the Lakers. And they have LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. And Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony. This is a rough... Like, you understand that in a very weird way, right? Dwight Howard has been responsible, a part of two of the most disappointing Lakers seasons in the last 10-15 years. You realize that? He was part of that team with Kobe. That was super fucking disappointing. And now he's part of this team with LeBron James, which is super fucking disappointing. It's crazy. I'm just glad that Dwight Howard got his ring when he did. It's crazy to me. It's like, this whole thing is crazy to me. Now, I have a nice little nugget for you guys, as we got about 3 minutes left into the podcast. Now 2 minutes left into the podcast. I have a nice little Philly special for you guys, folks. Right? Like I said, because we've been all over the place, right? We talked about Aaron Rodgers sticking with his team, right? Because the Green Bay Packers fans... We talked about Russell Wilson going to Denver, you know what I mean, going to his first smoke shop and talking about
Mr. Unlimited.
Right? we got the NFL Combine. We got big ass defensive backs running out there, and we see Hakeem Talib's Ghost coming out there talking about.
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get.
I will go to Andy up, you'll get your Barbie chain gap.
But ultimately, right, we're just watching all of these moves, and we're talking like,
Damn.
but folks, we're not quite done yet. We have a Philly special, folks. We have a Philly special. Rumor has it, and I told you this is a name that I've been watching. This is a name that I've had my eye on, right? This is a name that I was really hope that the Knicks. I honestly, I just wanted to see where he was going to go, to be honest with you. And I was hoping that the Knicks could find a way to persuade this individual to come to their team, because he would really help. He would really be the piece that we would need more than anything else. Him with R.J. Barrett would be ridiculous, and they would definitely find a way to find their point guard that they need. I guarantee you, it wouldn't have been a problem somehow this year. I don't know why. If I feel like it was going to be solved. But folks, Bradley Beal is rumored to go to Philly in the offseason, folks. If Philly don't win this year, you understand what Philly's going to look like next year? With still a hungry Joel Embiid, a hungry James Harden, a hungry, healthy James Harden, and a hungry Bradley Beal? You talk about a big three in the East. You understand that all these guys can stretch you. Man, pause. I'm not gonna go deep into that, cause like I said, we're just at our finishing time, and I really want I got my sources, B. I got my sources. I see shit and I hear shit everywhere. Don't worry, I got that piece of news right before I came onto the podcast. So, but like I said, it's a rumor. And I'm gonna keep listening out for it. But listen out for Bradley Beal on the move to Philly. That's gonna be ridiculous. And on the other side of that, I heard that John Wall will be open to going back to Washington. Can't stand Harden, he's too lazy. Well, you know what we call James Harden on the show. We call him Mr. Fail the City. Right? Like we call him Archer. Like that's who he is, and that's who he's always been. And we're about to end the show because, you know, we have to stop rambling at some point in time.
Sorry, B.
Thank you for joining the podcast, Ronnie. I do appreciate it. Chill, Will, Poe, my babies, everybody else that joined the podcast, and I'm through the multiple
All
platforms.
bandwidth in
I
the
appreciate
world
you giving me all the
couldn't
love.
keep me contained. No lag. Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there. Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought. Last of the real gabbers. Well, maybe not the last. Munchkin got good mic skills. New, improved MyT podcaster. Potting down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closing.
I'll show you guys. Same old shit.
Sun's
I'm just
out.
being silly.
Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't want to go far. Wild night. Tired, B. Tired. MyT.
Sports. And guys, thank you for listening. Remember, you can listen to the podcast anywhere that you catch podcast at, folks. You can watch us anywhere that you watch podcast at. If you have a Amazon Prime account, go ahead and go follow us on Twitch. Right, get the Twitch for free with Amazon Prime. Go ahead and follow, like, and subscribe with Twitch as well, folks. I hope you guys have enjoyed and continue to catch a wave that never subsides. This is Talent Through My Tail with the Mighty Sports Podcast, aka the One Take One, aka Tony Baritone, aka Mr. Energy, aka Work Hard, Smoke Harder. Thank you guys for listening. Continue to catch them waves. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Cut my feed. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no.